History of Prop the Mic. We're bringing you picks for NBA. We got the start of WNBA. We got PGA, and we got NHL playoffs to round things out. As always, today's podcast is presented by Props.Cash. We 100% could not do what we do without Props.Cash. So if you think you're ready to level up your prop betting game, use code PTM to sign up to get 25% off your first month. How you guys doing? You ready to make some history today?
I'm excited.
Yeah, very excited. I can see the excitement. Man, what a team. What a team.
Yes.
Yeah, this is really we're pretty much covering everything but like curling right now, I think. So this is exciting.
If you give us a week, somebody in the Discord will figure out curling too.
Cricket's next.
Yeah, cricket and curling coming up. So big slate to discuss today across multiple sports. So you guys want to just jump right into it?
Let's do it.
All right. So we voted, and we're going to cover NBA first. So let's dive into NBA. Tom, you're going to talk NBA, which it's getting exciting in the NBA right now. We're getting into game 5s, game 6s. So I think this is where things start to tighten up. You really start to see some trends from the first 4 games. So let's dive into the first game of the night. We got the Pacers at the Knicks. Both teams have 2 wins at home. So as a Knicks fan, I hope that trend continues and the Knicks take tonight. Knicks are minus 1.5 tonight. Totals 217.5. So to start, I was kind of surprised that the Knicks are favored in this game after getting shellacked on the road in game 4. Who do you guys think is going to take this game tonight?
I'm biased, so I'll leave that up to you two.
All right, Jordan, what do you like in this game? You like the Knicks to win, or you think the Pacers continue the hot streak?
Man, losing OG was a huge loss for the Knicks. I mean, like such a defensive presence, and he actually offers a way more on the offensive side than you think. So unless they get something figured out, I think it's Indiana again tonight. I hate to say that, but OG was huge for the Knicks. So.
Yeah, I agree, but you never know. You never know. Josh Hart, I think he only played 20-something minutes last game, so I think that's going to be huge for him to get some rest.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting a big bounce back game from Brunson, from Hart, but we'll see. The Knicks are pretty banged up. Let's talk about player props. Tom, what do you like in this game for player props?
All right, let's start on the Knicks side. I'm having trouble. This series, especially at this point, it's getting tough. You know, Hardenstein's banged up, Brunson's banged up, OG's out, Mitch is out. So, like, capping this is getting very difficult. And as we know, like, the further we get in the playoffs, the deeper you get into these series, the lines just get sharper and sharper. That's why we've been leaning on some more of these, builders, single-player alt builders. They seem to have some good success here. But all that being said, I think if the Knicks have a chance to win tonight, it's because Deuce or Dante DiVincenzo has a good game, right? The Knicks need to create space for Brunson to work. That relies on them getting the ball out to their shooters and their shooters knocking down some threes. So I think if the Knicks have any chance to win, you're going to see a nice game from either one of those 2 guys. I could see one of them hitting 4 or 5 threes in this game. Just don't know which one it's going to be. Let's start with Deuce. I like his points line 9.5. He's cleared this in 8 of his last 9 games at home without OG. We were on this the other day. He didn't get there, and I know we had Flo on the pod, and he talked us off this. He was high on Dante in that game, and he proved to be right. But as we always say, role players at home in the playoffs. I think this is a nice spot for McBride to come back, knock down a few threes. A 3-point ladder could even be in the works. I don't know if you can do the 3-point ladder with Dante just because his lines are like 4.5. But with Deuce, I think you could. But just to play things safe, I like his point line at over 9.5 points. You can get that at like minus 113 on FanDuel, minus 115 on DraftKings. So what do you think?
I mean, I love that because I think when you were trying to play it the other day, it was at 10.5 and you finished at 10. So yes. We're getting more value on that today. The guys played, 32 minutes last game. Obviously, some of that was him filling in for Brunson while Brunson rested in that blowout. But even the game before that, he played 28 plus minutes. So if we just look at him, in games with 28 plus minutes on the season, without OG, forget home or away. You're talking about what is that? 16 out of 18 games. He's cleared 10 points. If we filter that to home, you're talking about a perfect 9 for 9. So I think this is a home run. I think we're getting lots of value at 10.5 points, 9.5 points.
All right, let's go. All right, let's keep things moving. Time is valuable today. Dave, I think you're gonna love this one. I worked up a little Dante DiVincenzo parlay here, and it's a 3-3-3. That's 3 made threes, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. We can get that for plus 131 on FanDuel. If you don't love the 3 assists, if you like it at 2 assists, maybe better, you could still get that at minus 140. A little juicy, but I like 3-3-3 has a nice ring to it. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, love it. I mean,
right?
That's a Tim Trad play right there. I like that one a lot.
3-3-3.
I love this. The
Actually,
in it is beautiful.
He's more of a like 1-1-1, but we'll take the 3-3-3 here.
Yeah,
still small numbers.
Too many occurrences.
Yeah, too many occurrences.
Too many occurrences. Yeah, love that play. I think he's good. I think especially at home, I think he's gonna get back a good bounce back spot tonight. So very nice.
All right.
Anybody else on the Pacers you got in this one?
On the Pacers, let's just go with let's ride Obi. We've been kind of riding
Obi. Yes, sir.
Here.
Let's go.
He's 4 for 4, clearing his point line of 8.5 points at MSG this season. I think you could also take his threes over 1.5 threes. He's also cleared. He's at 2 in every single game he's played at MSG this season. The Brooklyn boy comes home against the team that drafted him and traded him away. What's not to love?
Yeah, Jordan, you like that play?
Love that play. Man, I've been loving Obi in this series, and anytime you get to back a guy named Obi, especially as someone who loves Star Wars, you gotta take it.
There you go. I wish I could bet on Obi to do a breakaway dunk through his legs, because he seems to do that like in every other game against the Knicks. So I love that.
Sounds fun.
All right, let's. I think that covers it for this game, right, Tom? You want to go to the next game?
Yeah, let's go to the next game.
All right, so let's go
Real
to
quick before we move on.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Before we move on from the Knicks. Isaiah only played 26 minutes last game due to his 30, 29, 35. He's been averaging the playoffs. Is he injured or is that because of blowout?
Yeah, he's got his Achilles is acting up. It's so I'm staying off Isaiah here. He's banged up. He definitely, you saw he was not didn't have the same level of energy and intensity that he normally has out there. So something that Achilles is definitely bothering him.
Yeah, he played 16 of his 21 minutes in the first half. So I think he'll get 30-plus minutes again tonight, though, right? I mean, they don't have a choice.
Yeah, you don't want to give all those minutes to Precious and Jericho Sims. So if he can play, he'll be out there for big minutes, I'd imagine. I just worry about, how durable he is right now.
Yeah, exactly. All right. T-Wolves, Nuggets. Nuggets are minus 3.5 at home. Total is 206.5 in this one. Incredible turn of events. Looked like the Nuggets were done. Now they're in the driver's seat. What do you like here, Tom?
I posted this one up to X earlier. It's a Jamal Murray builder. Like we said, these have been working out pretty well for us. We were on this in game 4 for 5 assists and 3 rebounds. It was like even money then. It is way down now at minus 180 or something like that. So we got to tack on some points, but it's like, deep in a playoff series, game 5 back in Denver. I mean, this is Jamal Murray's time to shine, right? He's a little banged up, but he's definitely, they made some adjustments. Mike Malone started having Aaron Gordon bring the ball up to spare him that wear and tear from that, the pressure coming up the court. So I think he starts to reap some of the benefits of that. And I like him for 18 points, 5 assists and 3 rebounds. And, forget what the odds were, but I think on DK is like plus 106, FanDuel minus 102. I think that's a nice little SGP builder on Murray in this game.
Yeah, looks pretty good. Guys, you got any thoughts on that?
I'm done with the series.
Yeah, it's so hard. I
just tell me who fucking won and let's move on to the next round. It's just the dominance on both sides back and forth. It's so wild.
It's so tough. Yeah. No.
We thought Denver was dead. like after game 2, we were basically cashing that future you had, and now who knows what the hell's going on.
Yeah. Now I can cash out for $70. So
Oh, it dropped down that low.
170 on 100. So I'm riding it. I don't care. I'm gonna go all the way. So
Yeah,
It's the
you
only
need
way.
a-
It's the only way.
you need a Minnesota win.
yeah, we'll see. Whatever. It's all fun. All right. Any other picks, Jordan?
Yeah.
Tim.
I got
Oh,
one
Tom, go.
more real quick, and then we'll move on to. I know you're eager to get into some WNBA action on opening night here, but like I mentioned, Aaron Gordon's had the ball in his hands a lot more this series, especially the last game or two. He's 5 for 6 from 3 over his last 2 games. He's 8 for 11 from 3 over his last 3 games. That's 3, 3, and 2 made threes over his last 3 games of this series. His line to have 1-3. Tim, you listening? Minus
so
166 on DraftKings for 1-3. Obviously juicy, but I think an Aaron Gordon back at home. It's I don't know how easily they can adjust to this change. They're not going to have like Rudy pick him up, on the perimeter. So, although they do have some other good defenders and Jaden McDaniels and whatnot, but I think this is a good spot. He seems to be seeing the ball through the hoop pretty nicely right now from the perimeter. So let's take Aaron Gordon over 1-3, and then maybe you ladder that up for 2 or 3 threes back at home in Denver.
What do you think,
Absolutely
Tim?
love it.
Yeah, I would say you can also pair that with assists too.
Love that. That's nice, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at what he's done this series, it's been really good. So you could go as low as 2 assists and a 3 and probably get that to like plus 100 or
I like that even more.
Yeah, something like that. So I think Aaron Gordon's in a great spot.
Nice.
All right. You guys, Jordan, Tim, you got anything else in this game?
Not in this game. No. Go ahead.
Oh, no,
All right.
I was going to say I can add Aaron Gordon into another play that I was working on hockey that it was like minus 170 something. And I was like, it's a little too juicy. If you add him in, it's plus 145. So
There we
Beautiful.
I
go.
might have just made that
There
play.
you go.
I love
Real
that.
sexy.
Tim just like is the silent assassin on the show. He just sits back and he like plucks little pieces from every part of the pod and then puts together something special at the end. I love that. Let's take a break from basketball for a second. Let's go to hockey. Let's talk about hockey and then we'll come back to WNBA in a second. All right. So what do you got here,
Let's
Tim?
party. All right. Well, first of all, we had 2 of the weirdest days of hockey ever. We cashed the huge play with a Zach Hyman goal, and then somehow he got stat corrected to not only did he not score the goal, but he didn't even have a point. So they took that from us. And then last night, right before the game started, Val Nichushkin, who leads their team in goals, about an hour or 2 before the puck drop, gets suspended for 6 months without pay due to player, what's it called? The
Drugs.
player assistance program. Yeah. So everybody is speculating allegedly that it's cocaine involvement. And then there was a crazy thing that happened in Seattle with a hotel room. So we're going into that. All the bets are already placed. And then you're like, oh, this is going to definitely affect this team, right? And they did not shoot the puck. So what we're looking for is the regress back to the normal. And we have Florida at home. They're playing Boston with no Brad Marchand, their captain, their guy that we've been riding for a while. So they're in Florida, game 5. They can win tonight. I genuinely think that the Bruins are too beat up and that the Panthers are going to win this game. But I'm looking at I think the money line is getting out of hand because of the Brad being out and them closing it. I think it's like minus 200. So we're looking at the totals just like we did before. 4.5 in this game. They haven't gone below 7 or 6 in the series. And then 4.5 in the late game. And that's the play that I'm talking about taking Aaron Gordon with. So if you take 4.5 total, so we need 5 goals in each game. And depending on your book, you might be able to do the 4-4, so you have that push effect, and then add Aaron Gordon. So we'll start with that. That's plus 145. I absolutely love that. Let's go to the stars. You know we're talking about Pasta. Look at him up there. So we're going to points.
There you go.
Get away from this Minnesota Timberwolves game. Yep, that's our guy. With Brad Marchand out, that's the guy that's going to score points for them. So my first play is David Pastrnak, Alexander Barkov. So Pasta and Barkov. This is chalky as can be, but if you take the 2 of them, it's plus 119. Barkov's going to be active at home, and Pasta's, if he's got any life left in Boston, it's coming out of Pasta. So that's the play 1 is Barkov and Pasta at plus 119.
Beautiful. I love that.
And then take a look at Matthew Tkachuk. He's their guy. And
Wasn't that the guy who got thrown out of the game?
yeah, him and Pasta fought each other.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But
And
we're
then
gonna
he
go
came
back to
the
him,
next
right?
game. Well, see the game he got thrown out is that 0 right there, and then he came back and had 3,
Okay.
and then he had 0 again last night. So based on obvious math, we're going right back to him for 3. No, he's not gonna have 3 points, but he's at home in a closeout game. So I genuinely believe that he's gonna have a point. I just don't want to pair him with Pasta or Barkov. I think those two guys can be their own play. I'm gonna look at Kachuk in this game to score a point, and then JT Miller in the late game. Sorry to make you swap over.
No, we're
But
good.
in the late game. So it's a little cross because the two guys that I think have the most are most likely to hit.
So
Again,
one
coming off 2
point for
days.
Miller, right?
1 point for Miller because his line is 1.5 because he's the man.
Yeah.
And then 1 point for Kachuk. So these are again chalky at -200, but you're getting that at even money. So we
Love
just need
that.
a point from each. So those are my 2 straights. I'm absolutely smacking those. I love them. We need to turn around from this just the chaos of last night where Wyatt Johnston outshot an entire team for 2 periods. So I'm hoping we don't have that. And then I'll just give you my 4 favorite in each one. Is that too much, or should we just?
Go for it, man.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I'm running this all together just to party. I got Dreidel, Leon Draisaitl, Zach Hyman, JT Miller, Brock Besser. Brock Besser has been on an absolute fucking tear. He had a first period natural hat trick, but then they took one of his goals away in the last game. So I know he's coming for blood. He's been scoring a lot. So if you want to look at him to score a goal, I mean, it feels good, but I'm just taking him to score a point. The 4 of them combined are +239, so you could run that by itself. And then in the early game, I got Jake DeBrusk, who has been on an absolute tear. He's like kind of one of those, I guess you'd call him a role player like an NBA, but he's really turned it on in the playoffs. Pasta, Barkov, and Kachuk. So I got 3 chalks and 1 Jake. And that is +377. And if you take the 4 and 4, which is a wild play, but I'm absolutely doing it, and you put $50.69 on it, it's going to pay out $1,000.
Ooh, I love that.
So that will go up. That's going to be the one that we retweet. If it hits, I'll give away another $100.
You're very generous these
and then I
days,
have-
Tim.
I mean, I just like it. I like when people win.
I love that.
Like I did not do last night, which I'm being very, very open and honest about. We got Dick's kicked in, but we are well up in hockey, and it's going to regress back. And Florida is very likely going to close it out against Boston tonight. So again, look at those totals. We have smacked the totals on every single pairing in this playoff and have covered. Even last night when they scored 4 in the third to cover it. There's just a lot of goals in playoff hockey. I thought that these series, as they got later, were going to settle down a little bit. In this round, they have not. People are pushing. So I love those. I'm sure I'll put more out in the Discord, but just those 2 smacks and then any combo of those other guys, I'm a big fan of. I think it's going to be fun. Oh, wait, one more. Matthias Ekholm, goals. He has scored in 3 straight. He's a defenseman in the Edmonton game. He has scored in 3 straight, and I don't know why he likes playing Vancouver lately, but he is just on fire. He's +600 to score or +140 for a point. So just keep that. Do with that what you will. If you're looking to throw a +600 into something as an extra leg, that could be a party right there.
I just had a moment of deja vu. This reminded me of, Tom, what was that player on Philly that you had the anytime touchdown for that I had never heard of before?
Zacchaeus something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Olamide or something like that.
Yeah.
So during the NFL season, Tom threw out some wild anytime touchdown, and this just reminded me of it, and it hit. So I think this is I think
in the moment Dave called it the sharpest play I had ever given out, and I thought it was like it was a very backhanded comment though. It was
It's still the sharpest play you've ever.
You in the music. I love it.
All right, very good. Does that cover it for NHL?
That covers it for NHL. Yes, there's like more I want, but I just want to get back into rhythm. So let's stick with that. That was the biggest trend I'd seen for the longest shot is Ekholm. Everything else should go to script. I say that very reluctantly after last night being such a shit show, but hopefully none of these players will get put into 6-month suspensions an hour before the puck drops, and we probably have a better chance.
Yeah, no suspensions, no kicked out of the game for fighting each other, and we'll be good.
Yeah, let's hope they don't fight each other. They've had 2 games since that incident, so they seem to have worked out their differences. I hope so. I really like where we're at tonight, and the closeout game is a lot of fun. So that early game could be wild. They do not want to get beat at home or on the road, and they really want to win at home in front of their home fans. So it should be a fun game.
Love it. All right, let's move on to golf. Jordan,
Let's hit the links. Let's go.
You ready to hit the links? You came on a couple weeks ago, delivered some gems for the Masters. What do we got? What tournaments coming up this week?
So we got PGA Championship. It's in Louisville, Kentucky at Valhalla. Some pretty big names have won in the past year. Tiger won here. He beat a guy named Bob May. He's got a couple of amazing, like super long putts he made here years back. And also, I'm trying to think. Oh, Rory won this a few years back as well. And this is actually the last major that Rory won. So he's got some good history here. I don't know if you have that thing I sent to you.
I do. You want me to pull it up?
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm just going to give you a preview of a few picks. I have a couple cards I'll give out as far as outright finishes and then top finishes for the week. There we go. So, so for outright finishes, Brooks Koepka is like a must play for me. As far as like this course goes, this is a super long course. I think it's like 7,700 yards and it's par 71. When Tiger played this and won it, it was 7,200 yards and par 72. It was actually really long then, but they basically turned a par 5 into a par 4 and then lengthened the course. So it's like you have to be a little bit of a bomber, and Brooks is a must play. So with PGA Championship, I see a lot of correlation between the U.S. Open and the PGA Championship. So I want to take some guys who have had success at both tournaments. A lot of times PGA Championship is just kind of like US Open light. So with Brooks, though, here's his finishes. It's a long list of finishes, but I'm going to get through it quick. If you take away his injury year of 2022 where he did terrible, his past few finishes are 17th, 1st, 4th, 2nd, 29th, 2nd, 1st, 13th, and 1st in PGA and US Opens. So pretty consistent there. And so, I mean, like, he's just a guy you got to back. Won a couple weeks back in the last Live Golf event. He's made a few like equipment changes, and he was honestly came out. He's like, I'm pretty pissed about how the Masters went. And a pissed Brooks Koepka is somebody I want to back. So he's one guy. Bryson DeChambeau is another guy, especially with a lengthy course. He had a really great showing at Augusta National. Came out with some 3D printed irons that cost like $8 million or something like that.
Whoa.
But not $8 million, but they're really expensive, more than like a house would cost, basically. So anyways, he came up with some 3D printed irons that he designed, and it's actually been really helpful for him. He's had some great finishes so far.
Is that not illegal to make up your own club?
No. So he had some clubs made. The USGA, which is like the governing body over like all US tournaments, approved his irons for play the Monday before the Masters. He put them in play on Thursday. That's actually insane. So,
yeah.
And the fact that he designed them himself, like he is like the Mad Hatter of golf. Like he's pretty insane. So yeah, he has boom ability. Like he can really, like, if he's on, he's really on. So he's has a 4th, a 1st, and a 4th since 2020 and PGAs and US Opens. So his 4th last year at the PGA Championship. So it's pretty good for him. And then I put Ludwig in there. And we actually secured that line on the Discord. I actually think it's plus 1,600 or plus 1,800 now, depending on what book you're looking at. So that's like just a little plug for the Discord there. Like there's some benefit you get. I think I put that in like midway through the 3rd round of the Masters, because like there's the way he's playing, like he needs to be, his numbers going to go way down after the Masters. And then he actually followed up that tournament with, I think, a 2nd or actually it was a top 5 finish at Harbor Town. And so some big tournaments that he's played in this year. Pebble Beach was an elevated event. He got second. He was 2nd there, 8th at the Players, which they basically call 5th major, and then 2nd at the Masters. So he's someone that we want to be backing. He's one of the best, like total driving, which is combining distance and accuracy. He's one of the best in PGA, and he's great from like 175 yards to 200 yards, which is where a lot of the approaches are going to be coming from. Then just getting to top finishes. I put some chalk here with these. There's some other guys that I'll be putting out, but Scheffler and Schauffele to finish top 20 is plus 117 on Bet365, and I actually really love that number. If you look at DraftKings, it's minus 137 there, and it's minus 148 on FanDuel, so that's a really good value there.
I usually confuse these two guys, so I like combining them together. So there's absolutely no confusion.
Absolutely, the SCH dude. Yeah, you're like
the SCH crew.
Yes. I try to have some symmetry. I know Tim Lee loves that. So
that's beautiful.
This is the Tim Trad play. So
a lot of F's too. Just a lot of F's.
A ton of F's. Yes.
A ton of F's.
That's how we bet. How many consonants do you have in your name?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
It's all good. Scotty, his last few U.S. Opens and PGA's third, second, a missed cut, which was shocking. Seventh, eighth, and a fourth. And then Xander, he's been top 20 in 11 of his last 13 PGA and U.S. Open starts. So a lot of consistency from these two. Actually, two of the most consistent golfers. Xander is like notoriously consistent at like being up there, but never wins. So he's basically Greg, like this generation's Greg Norman that just can't win a major. That's a play I really like, especially at the price. Brooks and Rory to have top 20 in ties. Also pretty good value here, plus 145. On FanDuel, it's minus 101. On DraftKings, it's plus 114. So another like really good value play here.
So I just want to chime in for a second, Jordan. I just saw some breaking news that Rory filed for divorce this morning. How do we feel? Does that change your feelings on this at all, or in a good or bad way?
I actually did not see that.
I was gonna bring that up too, but I didn't want to be a dick. So I'm glad that I just saw that. I was like, "Ooh, is he gonna be revenge playing, or is he gonna be just sad?"
I mean, this had to have been in the works because he just came off a win. He won last week.
Oh, okay.
He might be having some good vibes with this. I don't know.
He might have won and then decided to file for divorce to celebrate.
Who knows? He's won this tournament here before, and just coming off a win, he's somebody I want to back in some form or fashion. And I also looked at a couple other parlays. So if you parlay all four of them together for top 20, it's plus 434, which is pretty good value itself. And then I was actually really interested in this one. And that's a Scotty, Brooks, and Rory top 10 in ties parlay. And that's plus 642 on Bet365. It's plus 407 on FanDuel, plus 538 on DraftKings. So it's a really good value there. Brooks, I mean, his last 11 of his last 12 starts in PGAs and US Opens, besides those injury years or year, he was top 20, and then 8 of the last 12 top 5. Rory is top 10, 8 out of the last 10 times he's teed up at a U.S. Open or PGA Championship. So both of these plays I really like. Those three guys, Scotty, Brooks, Rory, they're all super consistent when it comes to this style of tournament. And they're all very long, which is going to be important. They actually suspended the practice round today because of rain. So that actually makes the course play a little bit longer. If it's dried out, baked out, some guys who are a little bit shorter, they can, still poke it out there and get a lot of run, but you have to have some carry distance if it's going to be a wet course, especially starting Thursday, Friday. So I really like them, for that. And I just really like them this week. Brooks is definitely somebody that, like I said, if Brooks is angry and he's playing angry, he's got a chip on his shoulder. He needs a reason to care. He needs a reason to care, and I think he cares a lot about this week.
Love it. Excellent. That's some next level knowledge that you're just imparting there. You know what I really like about these? So these just so I'm correct, these tournaments run from like a Thursday to a Sunday. Is that correct?
Yep.
Right. So what I love about these are kind of like betting futures, like where it's not like, you bet your bet and 3 hours later the game takes part and then the game's over. But it's also not like a season long future that we put out sometimes for NBA. So you get like a couple days worth of value on the bet. You get to see, how you're tracking. You also get to see, I think you brought this up last time, you get to see, potential cash out opportunities too. As the tournament progresses, there might be an opportunity to kind of take some of that money in early. So I love these. I'm definitely going to jump on board for a few of these. Yeah.
Some of the ones we'll be putting in the Discord, actually already dropped in the Discord, are like some pretty high numbers, but for some guys who have actually done really well in these type events. I mean, one of them that I put on there, he's been top 10 every single PGA or US Open that he's played in, besides one that he withdrew because of injury. And he's someone that I'm probably going to be looking at a cash out offer if Scheffler or Koepka are way up there on the leaderboard. It's just one of those situations where if Koepka or Scheffler are up there, I'm trusting one of those two to get it done. I'm going to go ahead and take my cash out offer on this other guy.
Beautiful. All right. Very good. I wish I could add more, but I still don't know enough about golf to be dangerous. So we'll just keep rolling with your picks. Love it.
I could tell you like the future element of this, like, I know the time horizon on those season long futures is just way too long for you.
Except for that Chet Holmgren one that we cashed
too
on.
good to pass up. Yeah.
So, all right. Thanks, Jordan. All right. So let's wrap up. We're talking WNBA tip off tonight. Tim Trad's excited. I'm excited.
I'm so fucking stoked.
I got my I have two WNBA hats. I have a New York Liberty hat, which I'm a season ticket holder to. And then I also have my Seattle Storm hat. So they're both playing tonight. I chose to wear the Storm hat because I took the initiative to buy a Storm hat when they were the worst team in the league last year. And now they're projected to be a top 4 team. So
there we go.
I'm taking advantage of that. But
that's
all right. So let's talk about the 4 games tonight. We got New York, Washington, Indiana, Connecticut, Phoenix, Las Vegas, and Minnesota, Seattle. What I will say is, sounds like 90% of the bets are all coming in on Caitlin Clark. I'm personally laying off of Caitlin Clark tonight, just because I think, I don't know. I think number one, I think the line's probably too juiced up. Number two, I think Connecticut is they were a top 3 defense last season. They have pretty much similar team. They did change out their guards a little bit in the offseason, but they still have Alyssa Thomas, who's just a shutdown defender, really tough. So Caitlin Clark could be a good play tonight, but we don't have too much on her. What were we going to say, Tom?
Brianna Jones is back. I was going to ask.
Brianna Jones is back, although she only played maybe 10 minutes in the preseason. So I think they're gonna
minutes restriction.
Big time minutes restriction. So I think she certainly, as she's the center for Connecticut, as she gets more and more integrated into a team, that could eat away from some of Alyssa Thomas's stats. But for today, I'm not too concerned about it. So let's just talk for one more minute about Caitlin Clark. 2 preseason games. She played roughly 30 minutes in each game. The first one, she went off, scored 21 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 for 13 from 3. So everybody was super excited about that. Second game, same roughly number of minutes, only put up 12 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 for 9 from 3. So I think her line tonight, let's see where it's sitting right now, is 21.5. Tim Trad's ready to bet a 40 piece on 40 plus points for Caitlin Clark.
That's what I want to see.
That's what you want to see. So the one observation I had on Caitlin Clark, so if you have some obscure book that offers turnovers, I think betting turnovers for her tonight would be a phenomenal bet. She had 5 turnovers in her first game in the preseason, 6 in her second game, and now she's facing a really tough Connecticut defense. on the road in her first game in the WNBA. So I could see her coughing up the ball 4 or 5 times tonight. So if you do have a book that offers turnovers for WNBA, definitely look at that. Otherwise, we're going to lay off of any other props on.
I think if you're a prize picks, it's a great leg for if you're into prize picks, they usually have turnovers. And I think that could be a great leg to something on prize picks.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Caesars has NBA turnovers. I don't know if they have WNBA, but that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'm hoping, I'm hoping the offering for WNBA gets, deeper and deeper as the season progresses. What I will say is, as a general statement, there's a lot of disparity between the books, meaning if you take your time and you dive into all the books, you can find real value. NBA happens the same way, right? The lines are released. There's some disparity from book to book, but within hours, everything kind of tightens up. WNBA, you could see those lines stay, different all the way up until tip off. So definitely do not just find a play, lock it in on one book. If you have multiple books, make sure you're shopping across. Props.cash does a nice job of showing the odds and the values across multiple books. So use that as well as a tool. All right.
Yeah, you can get Caitlin Clark at 20.5 on a few books, and then 21.5 juiced on others. So you can save a point and like $30 in juice. It's pretty spread out.
Pretty spread out. All right, so let's give out a couple plays here. We'll pull up props.cash, and we are going to target the Fever Sun game, the one that Caitlin Clark will be in, but we're not looking at her. We're not looking at points. What we're going to look at is 2 players in this game. First one is Nalissa Smith. Nalissa Smith was, I believe, the first or second pick in the draft now 3 drafts ago. So the Fever had, I think, the second pick in the draft, took Nalissa Smith. Last year had the number 1 pick, took Aaliyah Boston. Now had the number 1 pick, took Caitlin Clark. So they are a really solidly deep team in terms of young talent. So hopefully they can put that together and have a really nice rebound season here. But Nalissa Smith had a really good preseason, and I think she's in a good spot for rebounds tonight. I took advantage of FanDuel, which came out with the ability to do some same game alted parlays. So I took Nalissa Smith at 6 rebounds, which you can see on props.cash is she's done that in 5 straight games versus Connecticut. We have her actually projected for close to 9 rebounds tonight. I also took Alyssa Thomas, who was a candidate for MVP last year, kind of did everything. Tom and I were at a game in Connecticut where she put up, what was the stat line she had there?
It was like the highest like total triple double like cumulative, but would she have 21 rebounds or something?
Yeah.
She was insane.
She was insane. It was a great game. So I also like her for 6 rebounds, which you could see she's done in every game against the Fever. And if you look just at last season against the Fever, she had 11 rebounds, 17 rebounds, 7 and 14. And then I also like Alyssa Thomas for 6 assists. And again, you could see she's done that in 5 straight against the Fever. And if you just look at last season, every game against the Fever. So just to rehash, we got Nalissa Smith, 6 rebounds, and then Alyssa Thomas for 6 rebounds and 6 assists. Put that together on FanDuel. You can get that for -117. They're also offering a 30% boost, and you can push that up to +111.
Just for the record, her line in that game was 21 points, 20 rebounds, 12 assists, 3 steals, and a block. She was just on fire. So fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. All right, so that's the first play. Go ahead.
Real quick, I just built exactly what you did, and with the boost right now, it's +122.
Awesome. All right, so we've gotten
even better odds.
Gotten some better odds. Good. All right, you'll enjoy that. That'll cash in the third quarter. You'll enjoy.
Love that.
Enjoy watching the rest of the game. All right. So the other thing I would say is there's a lot of player movement in the WNBA, especially this offseason. A lot of like big players moved from team to team. So I would be cautious about playing too much in the first week of the season because you don't really know how players are going to play out. The preseason is super short in the WNBA. Some teams only had 1 preseason game, so you can't even really look too much at that. But I found one player that I think is in a great spot tonight, and that's Tom and I played a lot of plays for her last year. That's Courtney Williams. She was on Chicago Sky last year. Now she's on the Minnesota Lynx. She did have 2 preseason games for the Lynx. In those 2 games, she put up 13 points in 18 minutes and 17 points in 22 minutes. So really good initial first performance. She's playing Seattle tonight. I think it's at 10 o'clock tonight. So the play that I went with for Williams was 10 points and 4 assists on FanDuel. You put those 2 together is I think it was like minus 110 or something like that, near minus 108, I believe it was. If you look at her last 30 games, again, on a separate team, she gets to 10 points a lot. So that's why instead of taking her straight line of 10.5 points, I took her down to 10. That takes you from 47% hit rate over the 30 games to a 60% hit rate. And then if you look at the 4 assists, that's just kind of a little filler. Her straight line is 5.5 assists, but she gets to 4 assists in 80% of her last 30 games. So love that play for Courtney Williams. I think she's in a great spot. Veteran player, going to really deliver in Minnesota.
Love it. Let's go. WNBA is back. Here we go. Let's make some money.
Yes, sir. I can't wait. So no shortage of plays for us. 4 sports that we gave out, some starting in a couple hours, some starting up on Thursday, but I'm excited. I think this is a really great time to be a sports fan. A lot of great stuff that's going to be on TV in the coming days.
Yeah. All right. I think that does it. Nice work today, boys. We got lots to choose from, like Dave said, so we can go through the assortment. Tim's already curated a few of them for us here, so let's get those bets in. Let's lock them in, and let's all make some money tonight.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Sounds
Thanks,
great.
guys.